Welcome back to another episode of the Hersey Girls Hoops podcast. My name is Megan Clevey, and me and my co-host Gia Scrudland sat down with varsity head coach Mary Fendley and senior Mary Kate Fahey to discuss their upcoming games against Prospect and Fremd, their dominant offense, and Mary Kate's commitment to New York University. Hello everybody, welcome to the second episode of the Hersey Girls Hoops podcast. My name is Megan Clevey, and joined alongside me is my co-host Gia Scrudland. This week we have Coach Fendley joining us once again, along with senior Mary Kate Fahey. Thank you both for joining us, and how are you guys doing today?
Great, thanks for having us.
Yeah, good, thanks.
Well, you guys are currently on an 8-0 run, so what do you think is the key to that success?
I think our teamwork has really done us well out on the court. We work together really well. We push the ball up the court. I think, especially in our win against New Trier, I think pushing the ball up the court in a fast-paced game really was the key in our success there.
Yeah, I think, along with the teamwork, for me specifically, our passing is as good as I've ever seen a team pass. In that, I feel like, the expression, making the extra pass. Well, I feel like we are giving up good looks and then finding a teammate that's even a tiny bit more open. It's just super unselfish. And New Trier, my nephew's just graduated from there. My niece is a freshman there now. And they're better than we made them look. They're not, we beat them by 42, and they're actually a decent team. That's just how well we happen to play. Our defense was just, it was a great run against New Trier. Made it worth the drive out to Winnetka.
Against New Trier, Schaumburg, and Wheeling this week, you outscored all three of them by at least 20 points. So how has the offense come together?
I think like Fen said, just our passing has been great. We all work together well as a team, especially because we returned most from last season that we know. I know where Mary McGrath's going to be. I know where Katie Idle's going to be. And our offensive rebounding from Natalia Kupsik and Avery Larson and Val Allen, and everything has just been really well put together, and we're working well as a team right now.
Anything to add, Coach?
I think we had this advantage of having the foundation set with having so many returners, and I think we were able to kind of get in midseason form maybe a little sooner than most teams, and I think that really has started to show with our passing and our team defense, and MK said, kind of knowing where each other are, and that translates on offense and defense, I think, for us.
How has the bench players also helped with the offense and defense?
I will say this. I honestly believe this. I'm not just saying this to make them feel better. I think most of our team would start on almost every team in the conference. We have kids that I feel like I have a pretty good gauge for varsity level kids and varsity level starters. And I'm telling you, we have a lot of kids that you've never heard of because they just are number 10 and 11 on our team, but another team in the conference, they might be 4 or 5. And that's just us being spoiled, because you have kids like Mary Kate Fahey, who is literally the best point guard in the state. And so some kids playing behind her, that's a really, really good player.
Yeah. Also, sorry.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead.
Well, also our bench players, they're just amazing. We make a layup and they're cheering. They're so supportive. I would maybe a little bit biased, but I would say we have the best bench in the state. Megan Morris is a big part of that. Annie Lindgren, Jackie Jacobson, everyone on the bench is always there for us, and they do a great job.
How does their enthusiasm help you on the court?
Especially in a season like this when there's no fans, it sometimes can get a lot quieter, but when you have Jackie Jacobson on your bench, it's never quiet in that gym. It's always loud. So they definitely give us a lot of energy, make it play harder.
And it's not even, it's like a total support of basketball too. Jackie's that kid that like, she'll appreciate when the other team does something well, I think. You know, she's so like, she just adds to the whole vibe of the setting, you know, to maybe she's trying to compensate for the fact that we, you know, the stands are so different this year. But like for us, it's almost not different because we still have this great, it's game day. We got our people ready, and, you know, it kind of takes over the fact that the bleachers are sparse.
Yeah, so on Friday, you guys play Prospect for the second time after taking the first win with 70 to 57 points. So in the first half, your offense produced 48 points, but it was only limited to 22 points in the second half. So are there any adjustments that you guys are going to be making to keep Prospect from going on any late runs?
Yeah, you know, I think that we mainly just have to play all 4 quarters. The first time we played them, we played a great first quarter. It might have been our season high for scoring in a quarter, and we played excellent defense on our press was really good that night, and it went well. But then once we got to the third, fourth quarter, we kind of not necessarily let up, but we stopped scoring as much as we should have. And I think that for this next game, if we match their intensity, match their enthusiasm, or even exceed it, we'll hopefully be able to produce a positive
Yeah,
product.
we know how important this is. You know, they're in second place in the East right now. We're 6-0, they're 5-1. So we know this goes a long way in our first goal, which is to win the East. You know, I think MK's right. We had a 26-point first quarter, which I think at the time was as much as we've ever scored in a quarter. But then I think the next 2 games we had 30 and 32-point quarters. Like I said, it's, you know, I'm not even trying to sound braggy, but we just are clicking right now. We're in like mid-season form, 8 games in. And I think that's just these guys working so hard to prepare for the season, even though it would have been easy to kind of cop out because we weren't even sure we were going to have this season. But these guys, I mean, I just need to not mess them up because they're just playing so well. They're just, they work, and it's not just playing well now. They work really, really hard to get to this point.
Your biggest game this week is against Fremd. So how are you preparing for that game, knowing how tough that loss was last year in that MSL championship game?
Well, that loss was definitely tough, but right now I think we're mainly focused on Prospect just because it's a conference game. They're going to be ready for us, and then we're going to start focusing on Fremd as well because Fremd's obviously super talented. So we're hoping that definitely we'll have a better outcome this time around, but I think once again we're just going to have to play together as a team, play as a unit, and I think the results will be positive.
Yeah, they, you know, they're the state champs, so they're the state champs. And honestly, I guess they'll get to still call themselves state champs until next season. But all we can do, since there won't be a state championship, is the only reason I say that. But, you know, we respect that. And Coach Yates, they're so consistently good that if you're playing against Fremd, it's going to be a battle. And so, like MK said, it's not an East Division game, so we haven't really talked about it at practice. We'll talk about it after tomorrow night and try to talk about it Saturday afternoon through texts to get ready for them. But yeah, they're the real deal. They're an excellent team. Can't win the state championship without being an excellent team, and that's Fremd.
Yeah, so they're currently undefeated along with you guys. So what have you guys seen on film that you see like as an advantage for the team?
I'm biased, and MK wouldn't say this because she's part of it. I feel like I have the best 3 guards in the state. I just watch them play together, watch them play as individuals. Like, I'm calling them the best 3 guards in the state. And, you know, Fremd has returners and they're excellent and they're state champs. They don't have the ball handlers that we have. And so hopefully we can take advantage of that. We're quick, we're strong, and we have great ball handlers. And with, you know, I don't want to diminish our post players. I mean, they are well above average post players, but I think it's our guards that make us so hard to match up with.
Sorry, it seems like this will be a pretty evenly matched game. So what stat lines do you think will be the most important, though, to ensure that win?
What do you think?
I mean, I think rebounding will definitely be a big factor. Fremd's a very tall team. They're very aggressive on the boards. You don't get many second chances with them. So I think if we can be aggressive on the boards, that will work in our favor.
Yeah, I would have said the same thing as rebounding. They for sure have a height advantage on us, and they're strong and they're significantly taller than us. I mean, they have what 4, 5, 6 kids, 6'1" and taller. What was that? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
It's probably Cole trying to trick me. Anyway, so yes, we have to, rebounding isn't just height, it's position and boxing out. And we need to be tough and know that we can't just show up and get rebounds because they're an excellent rebounding, tall, strong team.
In general, do you think that rebounding is like one of the most important parts of basketball?
Absolutely. I think if you're not rebounding, the other team will get second chances. You won't get second chances, like offensively and defensively. If you're not attacking the boards, it's going to be really hard to come out with a win.
Transition usually starts with a rebound, so if we want to run, we can't run if we're inbounding the ball because they scored, right? We got to get those rebounds and outlet and try to go.
Yeah. So who are the big players on Fremd that you'll be focusing on?
I think all of them are really good basketball players. Like Fen said, they were state champs last year, and they have a lot of returners. But I would say definitely Grace LaBarge, Ruthie Montella, Matt Fahey. I'm not sure about Brianna Woolridge, but
in that we know she's really good. She got injured last week, so we're unclear if she's playing. Of course, we hope she plays, not only because we hate to see a great player get injured, but we want to play them at full strength. We think we have the pieces this year, and so hopefully Woolridge is good to go also. But they have kids coming off the bench. Maddie Fahey is playing really, really well. They're the real deal. They have a legit. They're ranked number 2 in state. So who doesn't want to see a 1 versus 2? That's what we're lucky enough to have.
Moving alongside from all the Fremd questions, Mary Kate, you recently committed to New York University. So what made you choose to go there, and how do you know that you would fit in there the best?
Well, especially in these weird times, the recruiting process was really different this year. But those coaches out there really made me feel welcome. They made me feel super comfortable. They're great. So I think that was a huge part of it. And it's a great school academically. And it's in New York City. So I think it's just kind of a great fit for me. I'm really, really excited to head out there in the fall.
Yeah, congrats on your commitment. So how do you think Coach Fendley and the Hersey basketball program has shaped you as a player?
I've been going to Hersey camp since I was in 4th grade, maybe 3rd grade. And I think just throughout the years, I've continuously grown just from Fen and Barthel both. They both expect a lot from me, and that's definitely something that I really enjoy having, like that type of pressure on me, both as a player and a person on the court, off the court. They push me to be better every single day. So I think they've absolutely shaped me into the player I am, but more importantly, the person.
Yeah, and Coach Fendley, what do you think Mary Kate has improved on the most during her time at Hersey?
So, well, I can answer that question, but just to be clear, she's always been so good. Like I mentioned this with Mary too. These two showed up with camp, and I think it was 2nd grade is when I have a second camp for 2nd graders, and my guess is you guys were. Well, it's 2012. I found that picture that I put on Twitter the other day.
Yeah.
That's going into whatever. That's a long time ago. Okay, you do the math on it. I don't know. So she's always been so good and so skilled, but I guess since she started high school, she could always shoot. Her ball handling has always been. she has been a starting point guard since her freshman year in high school. I mean, that's almost ridiculous. Well, it is ridiculous. And, we won the conference that year. She was a conference champ point guard. We beat Palatine that year in the conference championship as a freshman. And so, just gradually, of course, that has elevated. I think the biggest change is her kind of intuitiveness on defense, and actually not just knowing where to go, but being able to get there. Her, I would never call her slow, but her change of direction used to not be what it is today. And so now, like, she can change on a dime, and I know she's worked really hard to do that. That just doesn't happen by you saying, I really wish I could be faster and quicker and better change of direction. And so she has gotten there and is just a premier athlete in our area because of all the work that she's put in.
Similarly to Mary last week, what will you miss most about not having her on the team next year?
You guys, I had glasses on last week, and so you could, my tears were hidden. This is really hard, you guys, because these seniors, like, I'm a crier anyway, first of all. Second of all, like, what these seniors have done is, like, independent of the COVID situation. What they have done in addition to their normal awesomeness because of COVID is, like, I couldn't have even expected it. Like, this is the first team I never have to, like, motivate them or try to be their cheerleader, because they do that for themselves and for each other, and they really love each other. I mean, we get this, we have this appreciation, and it is completely led by MK and her senior classmates, and it has been since she was, a junior captain and a freshman starter. And so, like, to try to even think about what it'll be like post MK, I'm not there yet. I can't do it. Sorry. Can't do it. I can't get there. And my glasses don't have my tears this time.
Going to, like, the other side, Mary Kay, what will you miss most about the Hersey program and Coach Fendley?
That's a tough question, just because, like, there's so much that I love about Hersey basketball. It's been a huge part of my life since, like Fen said, second, third grade. So I don't think there's one specific thing I'm going to miss the most. It's just going to be all of the team things we do, even that we're missing now, just pasta parties, going to Thanksgiving tournaments and Christmas tournaments, and hanging out just as a team on the side, but also the basketball part of it and the competition. I was lucky enough to play in 2 conference championships. We're hoping to get to a third, and I'm really those are, like, the coolest games ever to play in. So I think that's something I'll miss as well. But honestly, I think just the whole entire program is something that I'm going to really miss.
Yeah. Are there any goals that you are still looking to accomplish before you graduate?
Oh, for sure. I think our conference, or I think we definitely are hoping to win conference. This year we don't have a state tournament, which was definitely one of our goals before COVID happened. But now that we're getting the opportunity to have a conference championship, I think that's absolutely a goal that we all have.
We're going to get to the more fun part, I guess, of the podcast with the rapid fire questions.
Bring
so what animal do you think resembles you the most?
Oh, God.
I don't know. Probably, well, a monkey. A monkey's my favorite animal. I don't know if it really resembles me, but that's definitely the coolest animal in my opinion.
Close. You said I don't know.
That's a hard question.
Yeah, it's hard.
Okay, what is your favorite sport to watch besides basketball?
That's such a good question.
I really like to watch football. I'd say football.
I would say football too. I love being at baseball games, but if I have to be at home watching something, it would be football.
All right, what are your guys' dream jobs?
As a teacher.
That's hard for me because I literally have no idea what I want to do with my life. But I would say
when I retire, maybe MK comes takes my job.
Yeah, I mean, a dream job would definitely to be a basketball coach, but other than that, I would say probably a physical therapist.
Pretty cool.
Interesting.
Would you have one if you weren't a teacher, math teacher?
Well, you know what's so funny is I was talking to Courtney Clayton today about this at practice. I was never a teaching major, but I started working at a camp in Maine and I loved it. And I just needed to keep going back. So I changed my major from statistics, computer science to teaching so that I could keep going back to camp in Maine. And I ended up going for 16 summers. And that's why and then I obviously liked teaching, but originally I just said, I got to keep going back to camp. So I need to do a job that I can keep going back to Maine every summer. So I guess I would be statistics, computer science, something.
Pretty cool. And the last one is, what's one thing you're looking forward to once COVID is over?
I think just being able to hang out with people again, go to a gathering with people, not worrying about wearing your mask and spreading COVID. I think that's probably what I'm most excited for.
I want to do the things that we didn't get to do during the season as a team. Like I want to take a busload of crazy, loud teenagers and go eat at Ramy's, something that like we would have done a few times, like after a Saturday practice, I'd take them over to Ramy's for lunch so I don't know, maybe it'll be May or June, but I want to load these girls in a bus or eat nachos at Sports Page. I don't even know, but I think we need to do something like that we never got to do this season.
Agreed.
All right, well, that will wrap us up for this episode. We thank you both for joining us, and good luck to you on Saturday.
And
All
Friday
right.
too.
Thanks for having us.
And Friday.
Yeah,
yes, and
for
Friday.
sure. First. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.